Hey, this is the story of villainy. There's villain story of Jewel Heist, and villain is that guy right there. 1995. Uh, I was living in Laguna Beach, and I had become really good at beach volleyball, and I was competing and training with some professional players. And I thought I was miserable, very poor, and this is crooked. No, miserable and very poor, living in like roommate of some like older woman that had like Garfield stuff everywhere, and it was a house painter, which sucked. I mean, it was kind of hot that summer. You're always covered in paint, breathing fumes. It's probably $10 or $12 an hour at that point. So I'm like, I got to jump ahead here. So I had a roommate previous that had told me that I should buy steroids. I mean, steroids weren't super widely used at this point, 1990s, or they were, but they weren't being tested for. Anyway, so I drove down to Mexico. He told me where to go, and then you go into a pharmacy and you can buy steroids. You can just be like, "Hi, I'm," as Dave Attell famously says, he loves Mexico because you are your own doctor. So I went in and I bought this designer steroids, like the best ones are called decadianabol and preloaded syringes, like the box that your contact lens comes in, and they're preloaded with the needles in it. Smuggling them back though wasn't quite as uneventful as I thought it would be. I had a car with I took the air filter out, old school air filter, and just set the boxes, like six of them inside there. Put the lid back on. Did get stopped. The customs guy told me to open up my trunk and my hood. So when I open up my trunk, he's looking in there. I open up my hood. I look in there, and I forgot to put the wing nut on, and I could just see steroids. And so as he's walking up, I go, cough, slip the lid back on, and he looks in, kind of looks in there everywhere, boom, close the lid, go back. Okay, so now doing the steroids, how that works. So steroids, these are preloaded syringes, and I think they say the recommended dosage of steroids. By the way, this is a jewel heist. This is germane to the story, trust me. Anyway, so the steroids, preloaded syringes, you shoot them in your own ass, which is doesn't feel great, but it's not the worst pain ever. And you kind of feel funny right away. I mean, I was like, are these going to do anything? They do things. I mean, for anybody who thinks that steroids are a minor advantage in sports is absolutely out of their damn minds. I felt like kind of a little surge of energy. I was like, it's got to be a placebo effect. And like the next day, working out was just like, by like day three of it, I was just like doing bench presses, not even feeling the bench press here, like pink, pink, pink. I was turning into a machine, and I was already pretty strong. I used to run hills with a log on my back, or no, like a long staircase down in Laguna Beach. Um, and my game, which had gone from kind of a finesse game, which is a defensive game, not a great hitter, my hits would go like at this angle towards the back. Little power, but nothing world class. Within like 4 or 5 weeks, I'm jumping like a freaking kangaroo. I'm jumping up and hitting the ball straight. I remember I was playing against this pro named George Carey, real mellow guy, and he came up. He's a very good defensive player. He just had his arms open, half down, halfway back in the court. I hit the ball. It bounced at his feet and clean over his head without touching him. And this is like 6 weeks later. Anyway, it also had a dramatic effect on. It scrambled my brain. I started thinking, well, I got to get out of this mess. I'm going nowhere fast. So maybe steal some jewels. Part two coming up.